I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice. My mother's child is a savage. She looks for her omens in the colors of stones, in the faces of cats, in the fall of feathers, in the dancing of fire, and the curve of old bones. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice. My mother's child dances in darkness and sings heathen songs by the light of the moon, and watches the stars and renames the planets, and dreams she can reach them in song and a broom. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice. My mother's child curses too loud and too often. My mother's child laughs too hard and too long, and howls at the moon, and sleeps in ditches, and clumsily raises her voice in this song. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice. Now we all are brought forth out of darkness and water, brought into this world through blood and through pain, and deep in our bones the old songs are waking, so sing them with voices of thunder and rain. We are our mother's savage daughters, the ones who run barefoot, cursing.
I am wrong about everything you want me to be wrong about, so long as it means I can have discussions that you don't come and try and derail with an agenda. Thank you. I love that clip. I got some interesting comments on it too, but I freaking love that clip. It's the idea that I don't always have to be right to feel good, and I can be wrong if it makes someone else feel better, and we can move on, because fuck, that's kind of what today's discussion is about. I updated the description, people probably didn't notice, but I'd like to discuss miscommunication a little bit today, and it won't be an open panel at first. I did send the link to a few select people. They may come or not. We'll see. But it won't be open panel until later, because I really want to get this out before anyone can derail it. I wanted to talk about especially today, the ideas of denotation and connotation, because I'd like to create a series going forward where we discuss commonly misused words and phrases. And that's what my Sunday streams are going to be about, like talking about communication and how we can better communicate with one another, not just here on YouTube, but in our own general lives, because I have teenagers, I don't know about the rest of you, and adult children. My adult children have pressed the limits of my abilities to communicate well more than anyone ever has in my life. You think trying to talk to toddlers is hard. Wait until your kids are adults and you still feel like they're toddlers, right? So the first thing I wanted to bring up was that something everyone should make use of regularly is a dictionary. So I'm going to bring up a dictionary and we're going to look up a few words together. The first word I want to look up is denotation. So I'm going to bring you over to my dictionary screen. Oops. Yeah, I'm not the best at this yet, guys, so bear with me. And we're going to go on Merriam-Webster because it's the most common American dictionary. And yeah, I happen to be American. Sorry, Jason. I don't know what the Canadians' most popular dictionary is. And we're going to type in denotation. See, it pops up pretty quick. I like that. An act or process of denoting, especially a direct specific meaning as distinct from implied or associated idea. And this is what we're going to do in this series a lot, is comparing a word's denotation with its connotations. And we'll look that up too. A denoting term, name, sign, indication, the totality of things to which a term is applicable, especially in logic. So, since it uses kind of the word in the first definition, I don't like that, the act or process of denoting, we're going to go ahead and click over to denoting, which when you see blue words, it's often a good idea to click over. To serve as an indication of, synonym betoken. But as here's example, but as yet no floating bow, no turn, to denote our proximity to land. So it would indicate you're close to land. See some birds, see some floating stuff. To serve as an arbitrary mark for red flares denoting danger. To make known. His crestfallen look denoted his distress. So if we take those definitions back and it says an act or process of denoting, so it's representing, it's signaling, it's stating. So denotation would be of a word would be what the word means, what it represents. Basically, if you click on the dictionary, you get the denotation first. But again, we're going to look up connotation in a second, and I want you to recognize here where it goes to meaning, and it gives a little bit more and when it comes down to more definitions, you'll get more into the connotations even in a dictionary. But the initial definition in the dictionary is typically the denotation, the literal meaning. And we'll look up literal too, but let's go to connotation. And I'm probably spelling it wrong because it didn't come up. There we go. A connotation, something suggested by a word or thing. Implication, imply. A word with a positive, negative connotations. The word childlike carries connotations of innocence. So when you hear someone is childlike, you might automatically assume innocent, or you might assume less developed, right? Depending on what connotation you take to that word, the implication. The act of suggesting a meaning by a word apart from the thing it explicitly names or subscribes. A meaning of a word apart from its denotation. So, by way of example, I will throw out a word like, well, let's get kind of interesting. We'll say shit. Shit literally means the stuff that comes out of your bunghole, right? But it can refer to just about anything depending on what inflection you use. That shit over there, this shit is unbearable, shit's gotten real. Those are using connotative meanings, right? As opposed to denotative meanings for the word. And we do that a lot in conversation. We tend to get colloquial. another word I wanted to look at today. So let's type that one in. Haha, it pops up right away. Colloquial. Adjective means it describes something, right? Used in or characteristic of familiar and informal conversation. In colloquial English, kind of is often used for somewhat or rather. Uh, Unacceptably informal. So if you're trying to do something formal and it might be used in a derogatory sense to be that you're unacceptably formal. The phrase bye bye is too colloquial in this context. Using or characterized by conversational style, a colloquial writer. So the idea of colloquial is how it's used in practice as opposed to how it's actually defined. Where I'm from, there are a lot of comedy sketches made about the colloquialisms because they're kind of funny, like a la verga and uh sí que no, like instead of yeah, no, like instead of just saying yes or looking for or claiming a statement, we'll say sí que no or yeah que no, and que no means no, no means no everywhere, like right, yeah, like you're questioning yourself, but it's still, I mean, it's not proper English or proper Spanish in that context, but it works in all languages. Hi, Fab Daddy. And yes, it's not Dictionary Schooling Sunday. You can call it that if you want. We're going to go further than this. This is just a start to where this discussions I want to carry on will go, where we will be hopefully having more uh, interaction in the second portion after I give a little bit of background, um, and discussing um, better ways to communicate with one another and understanding um, how phrases are being used and a lot of misused and misunderstood words and phrases. And I think it'll be an interesting conversation if anyone joins once I open the panel. Um, but we'll see. It's something that I've noticed, especially in my real life, but also in the online communities that I'm in, that miscommunication is a big part of how arguments and disrespect gets carried. A lot of times I notice that people are not being intentionally disrespectful, but there's a breakdown somewhere in communication. And I just thought it would be fun to do a series on improved communication. And it starts first with looking at the dictionary. We won't always use the dictionary, but it starts first with looking at the dictionary because if we can understand the words that we're using, the denotation and common connotations, we might choose our words better in conversation with one another. And if we're going to have the discussion and we don't all agree on the denotation to begin with or accept common connotations, then we're just going to be arguing semantics the whole time and never actually communicate with one another. And that can become very frustrating. So back to colloquial. Um, of or relating to conversation. Conversational. I want to click on this blue word too, because this is kind of what it boils down to. Um, Now it's going to give you the inclined to converse or fond of conversation, whereas if you use it in adjective, this person is conversational about a person. They're inclined to converse. But of, for, characteristic of, or suited to conversation or oral communication. So things that are meant to be more appropriately said than like read or written. Like it's how we talk to one another, and that's kind of the main thing I want to address by doing this series. I don't know how long it'll last or if it'll even be worth doing if people are interested in it, or if I'm just going to be rambling at myself for an hour every week this month and then end it. But we'll see how it goes. Um, the importance to me of communication is that I like hearing what other people have to say a lot. I learn from it. I grow from it. People who would never know that they were an influence on my character today have been big influences in the past, and I don't think that would have been possible if we hadn't first established a good communication. Because I notice in my current stage in life that a lot of times when I try to communicate with people, um, they don't understand what I'm saying, or I hear what they're saying more based on my own background than what they're actually trying to portray. And so sometimes it's not just about learning how ourselves to use the right terminology, but also learning how other people use terminology. And that comes from exchanges, granted. But if we could all agree on the denotations at the very least, uh, and work from there, communication gets better. And so understanding the difference between literal, oh, yes, that's the other one I wanted to look up. We did colloquial, and I want to do literal and maybe explicit. Uh, and my thought is, um, if this could help anyone, including myself, do a better job of communicating, it's going to be a worthwhile endeavor. Um, so, literal. Okay. According to the letter of the scriptures. So, by scriptures, they mean any book, not the Bible, although I get that for some people the word would be misused here. Adhering to fact or to the ordinary construction or primary meaning of a term or expression. Actual. This is the one I'm interested in. Or to the ordinary construction or primary meaning of a term or expression. This is what we're really going to get into in this series, hopefully, is this idea that we have so many terms that we use, not just words, but expressions, a series of words that we use in our society and in our communication with one another that don't always uh, carry over well, especially being that we're international here on the internet. So the things that don't um, carry over well are good things to kind of explore as to why. And that comes down to especially the literal meaning versus the colloquial use. And by way of example, some of the future streams might include things like pull yourself up by your bootstraps, or I didn't mean it that way. That's a phrase we use quite often in communication that I'd really like to explore. Um, I'm sorry you felt that way. Um, uh, literally. That's going to be a fun one. Literally. She literally did this, you know? um, hate is a commonly misrepresented and misused word. And there's some great words in another book we're going to check out later called a thesaurus that could be used to better represent the feelings people are having and make their message more clear than just, oh, I hate that, you know? And there's another one that could be fun to explore. And part of that is breaking down where these things come from. So I'm going to type in another word if I can spell it right, because I'm my brain has gotten old. I used to be a lot better at spelling, and now I have gotten so used to spell check on everything I use that I've gotten lazy about it. And it's pretty disheartening for me to be losing info already. I don't feel that old. Okay, so etymologies. Etymology. And it has the pronunciation here too, which is really cool. Watch, I'm going to push this. Oh, wait, no, you won't be able to hear it. I shared without sound. But if you're having trouble sounding out a word, even if you're on stream and you're trying to read something, Webster's has this beautiful thing where you can press this button that I'm touching here, and it will play the word for you. So it's really helpful. Okay. 1. The history of a linguistic form, such as a word, could be a phrase, by the way, that's why, shown by tracing its development since its earliest recorded occurrence in the language where it is found, by tracing its transmission from one language to another, by analyzing it into its component parts, by identifying its cognates in other languages, or by tracing it and its cognates to a common ancestral form in an ancestral language. Whew, that's a mouthful, right? So I looked up this word today to show you that some of these words are going to take a whole episode themselves to discuss before we actually get to where I want to go. And that's why I've got this episode today. We've got, yes, that word too, Fab Daddy, the measure the Nazi phrase and what National Socialism is. Those are definitely words I want to get to, and phrases that are used incorrectly all the time, and also with vehemence because of the colloquial attachments to them. So it's definitely that is on the list of words and phrases. But today, the reason I picked the words that I picked today, and I did this stream not just oh dude, did I do like all that without this? I hope not. Is it not there? Um the point is that a lot of these words are big enough to start with, and there's something I want to use later. So etymology, what I just read that sounded probably like gobbledygook because I am not the best at reading out loud. I'm no Morgan Freeman, right? Um, is the history of the word. And I'd like in some of these cases to delve into that and bring information about it at the beginning of the stream before I open up panels. And help us all understand where they came from, how they've changed over the years, and even break it down into its component parts, which I know everybody probably hated that in school, but it was one of my favorite parts of English classes when we would, God, I love my wind chimes, when we would break up words so that we could understand prefix, suffix, the root word, where the root word comes from, because it gives a connection to the words and their meaning so that you're less likely to misuse them or misunderstand them. And that to me is crucial. Communication, especially in this world of online living and the future of being involved in more digitized environment, communication is crucial. I can talk to people in Australia now. I can talk to people in Japan now without having to know them first to get a phone number from them, and then having to pay exorbitant long distance amounts to make that communication happen. And that was real in my lifetime. It wasn't that long ago. So we're moving more and more to this digitized society where a lot of miscommunication happens. And again, this happens in my real life often too. I have adult children, I have teenage children, and one of the things that occurs often is they'll use a word or phrase and it will quote unquote trigger me. Now that's a word that's going to come around later too. And what that means is they don't use the word in the way I understand it, and the way I understand it comes across as disrespectful or an insult. Like the other day, I called someone dude, and that was like I called them a man, and it was kind of the end of things for a minute there, no? Like that person hasn't talked to me much since then. She was very offended. And for me, it's a colloquial thing, hey, dude, whatever, 6'7", dude, that's another one, whatever. Like there's so many of these that I think it could be a fun series. I just wanted to start out with discussing some of these other terms in depth as to what I intended to do and kind of post that out there into the universe. And of course, I understand that when I open up panels later, I still may have to re-explain some of these things or rediscuss some of these things to come to terms with people on how to use them. But I just wanted, people to see where I'm coming from, the idea I have that, if we can get into etymology and we can discuss denotation, connotation, and it can come to be even that at least those three words become common in the vocabulary of people I like to communicate with, it would make my life a bit more comfortable, easier, so to speak. And, you know, one of the things I noticed about my children's education, the adult ones, that is even getting worse in my younger children's education is it's moving more to digital too. And a lot of inflection is lost when everything is actually written down. Rules of debate. Yeah, that's a good one too, Fab Daddy. You should join me when the panels are open and offer ideas for future panels then too. I do intend to host these as open panels at a point. They're going to start off with just me or me and a few select people who have expressed real interest in helping present the specific uh, portion of these misused phrases or words that we're going to do for the day. And then I'm going to open it to open panel because I've recognized that on open panels, people come up because they want to share, but often they can get derailed unintentionally with a natural flow of conversation. And I'd like to get the beginning part out first and set the tone. I think that if you've spent an hour listening to me or me and one or two other select people discussing the topic first, it's going to be easier to fall into continuing to discuss the topic in the open panel portion. I also am one of those people who feels like I have something to say about these topics, and that's why I'm doing this. So the first part might seem more like a podcast to people who are used to seeing me on open panels and participating in open panels with me. So that might take some getting used to, but that the intention is that by the time we get to the open panel, the people who come up have heard what I have to say and actually have a desire to discuss that and not something else coming in that they're relating to the topic that might lead it off before I get out what I wanted to say. And it's no dig to anyone in particular. It's no uh, complaint even. It's just that I want this particular Sunday uh, edition to be about improving communication skills. So it's got to start with getting us in the mood, right? I got to set the mood, light the candles, make sure he's got a good dinner when he comes home and light some candles, put on some perfume, you know? And so that's what I'm hoping to do. And it may not be a full hour every stream. It may be 45 minutes, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. It's going to vary, but the point is to get to a discussion of the literal meanings, the colloquial meanings, the etymology of words, and hopefully improve all of us with our yes, yes, two ears, one mouth, Fab Daddy. And part of the reason I want to do it this way is so I can get my words out. And then when I do open the panel, I'm open to listening because I'm not still at the back of my mind thinking about the things I meant to say and not really listening to them because that's not fair. Like I open a panel and anybody who presses go live has something in here they want to get out. And if I don't get it out first, I might not give the words of the people who come to greet me the same weight as I would otherwise, because in the back of my mind, I'm still trying to bring it back to what I wanted to say that I didn't get out. And I think this is going to be a little bit more comfortable format for making that happen, especially if we're going to talk about this stuff, because I don't want to be sitting here with a bunch of people talking on panel while I'm trying to read a definition, because people will do what they do. It's what we do. And I'm not saying I'm not one of them. So I just think it's a good idea to start talking about these things, because so many times we forget that we're actually talking to other people. Someone said something to me the other day. It was pretty interesting who it came from, actually, but that's irrelevant. Someone said something to me the other day that kind of clicked. I turn a switch when I get here that makes me stop thinking of these people as people. And hello, Josh. How's it going? Um, so I want to hopefully use language as especially the English language, as a connecting force between us that takes down that wall or that switch that people may be turning, that allows them to, like, oh wait, we did that one. My brain, that's not the one I wanted next. That allows them to not see everybody else who as humans like themselves. It's like there's this disconnect that happens. It's dissociation that I'm not sure um, some of them are even aware of. This person told me they do it consciously, but I think it's a subconscious one for most people. Do you like impractical jokers? I do. I'm not even sure what that means. Like, do you like impractical jokers? Do I like to laugh at jokes, some of them being impractical? Yes. Um are See, yes, Douglas, and that's what I'm trying to work out, is if you're going to use your words as weapons or not, or as shields or not, having the right words to use at the right moment, and understanding that sometimes words aren't weapons, even though you might perceive them as, and things like that. Just some basic, going back to the basics of communication, and it starts with vocabulary, and that's where I want to start at, and it's going to expand. Like, when I open the panels, hopefully at least one or two people will come up and be willing to discuss, like, how they see these terms and where they came into contact with these terms that gave them their personal connotation, because we have colloquialisms, which is agreed upon uh connotations of words, right? But then individuals have their own connotations, their own feelings they attach to them and carry with them, and that is when interpersonal communication gets especially tough. But if we can start from the baseline of denotations and connotations that are agreed upon, then we can move on to others. Oh, Impractical Jokers is a show. I didn't know that. I might check that out. I don't know, Brian. Is that a show you've seen before? Would I like it? Okay, this is assuming people actually wish to have a discussion. Most people prefer conflict or humiliation, and that's fine. Those people wouldn't come here to have this conversation, so I'm not worried about them. And we still have to address those people, all of us, myself especially, in the circles I choose to run in, as you know well, Josh. So those aren't the people I'm worried about. I don't need to communicate with those people. Those people, we just, enjoy the show ourselves and sometimes get to participate in it. That's a whole different environment. I'm speaking more on a interpersonal level with people I actually care to hear what they have to say and learn from them, and who I believe actually care what I have to say. And oh yeah, so when I open the panel, they're welcome to come up, Josh, these people who have conflict with me when I open the panel. That's the thing, is I'm not afraid of the conflict, but I'd like to have a better ability of communicating with the people who actually care to hear what I have to say, and I care to hear what they have to say. I'm not afraid of conflict, and I don't much care about conflict. And yeah, that's the other thing. This is specifically a Sunday stream. I'm happy to go on more than just Sundays. I have some other available time slots that I'm considering, and ask me anything day, because I know a lot of people would like to just come and ask me something and then tell me what how I'm wrong, and that's great because that would be fun. I learn from those people actually more than I do people who kiss my ass all the time. So bring it, right? You how do you sharpen a knife with a abrasive stone? How do you make a diamond sparkle? They're not pretty and sparkly like that when you take them out the ground, honey. That's rough abrasion. So I'm all for it. And I think that might be. I'm looking at my schedule, and it's probably looking at a a Friday. And I like that it'll be a Friday night because it can get a little wild then, people will be off work and whatnot. To just open it up to, hey, bring it. I'm not monetized, so I'm not overly worried about that. I've lost a channel before. I don't find that to be the end of the world, and I don't think YouTube is that worried about me. I'm not doing horrible things out here. So, I mean, yeah, I'm down for it, Josh. You can spread that word around if you want. I think I'm planning it for Friday nights, and there will be a scheduled stream. So anybody out there who might catch this, who knows all those haters who want the opportunity to just give it to me, look for me Friday night. And I'm not going to stop them from coming to the open panel portion of this, but if they derail it too much, they'll just get dropped. Because again, this Sunday stream is going to be specifically for improving my communication skills, and while doing so, sharing that with those around me who I care about. And that would include you, Josh. I think we agree on stuff and disagree on stuff, but I also think we can be cordial and have a conversation, and that can be improved. I especially want this for people like Dennison, Casper, Beth, 10th Man, OG. These are people who I communicate with regularly, and I would love if they catch up and get into some of these streams so that I can understand them better and they can understand me better, because we don't communicate poorly. That's not who I'm looking to fix things with. It's the people I communicate with mostly well, who still sometimes there's conflict and sometimes there's miscommunication. There's a young man, I don't think you know him. I say young man, but he's a lot older than I realize most of the time. There's young man Rebel who I would hope would participate in some of these, and I did invite him today. I just think he's busy on some drama stuff, which I get. But who would, even if he doesn't come, but would watch. I would like for these people and I to have a better way to communicate in these Sunday streams. Again, this isn't going to be my only stream. There's still going to be the Thursday streams at best. And depending on how she deals with that, it's her channel. I'm not stopping people from coming at me there. I didn't put anybody down who disrespected me or made me feel bad and want to cry. I put people down because they disrespected Beth at her channel or they threatened her channel. Those are the two things, and that's it. And that's because she asked me to co-host, and that's what I feel I need to do, is look out for those things. If they're disrespecting Beth and talking over her, who the fuck does that? You don't go to somebody's house and talk over them. You just don't, especially when it's money on the table, right? Secondly, if they threaten the channel, Cypher didn't get put down until he said, I hope you never get monetized, Beth. And when you're coming after a channel that you're on, you shouldn't be on it. Why would they let you? That's just stupid of them, right? So I'm working on a pro-abortion debate just to piss certain people off. Hey, if you find somebody who wants to go 2v2, Josh, I'm down. I told you that before. I'm down 2v2 for eugenics again. I'm down 2v2, not even pro-choice, fucking pro-abortion, 100%. I'm down um fascism, pro-fascism, because stupid people shouldn't be allowed to vote. But again, that's neither here nor there. Let me know. keep me in the loop. And this is the other thing, is that I'm not having this stream saying that I don't like dealing with the drama and that, oh, everybody's gonna get better at their communication and we're never gonna have drama again. Hell no. That would be boring. I'm saying this idea for this series is that we're just gonna talk about, you know, how we communicate, why we use these terms, what they mean to us, and try to build from that. I'm hoping to be doing 3 to 4 streams a week, at least for the next month, to test them out and see if people are interested in them. There will be the Beth Thursday. My understanding is she's still good with that, and we don't have any problems. So other people might not like it, but Thursday, Nikki's corner, Nikki's witchy bitchy corner at Beth's is continuing, and that's going to happen. There's going to be, like I said, Friday free for all, where people can come at me because I like that. It's fun for me. I know I'm sick. I'm twisted. I'm a sadist. Whip me. um, and there's going to be the Sunday communication stream, and there's one other that's between two things I haven't decided, that is probably going to go Mondays, and I probably will start it tomorrow. I'm not positive yet where I'm going to go with it, so we'll see. But yeah, I'd like to have a few streams, 3 to 4 streams a week at this point, and they'll all be different. I'll be different. The one on Mondays, I'd like it to be a structured discussion, but I'm not sure if it'll start tomorrow because I'm not sure I can get the person I want. But I want it to be a 1v1 for the first hour, either me and someone else or 2 other people, and then open a panel afterwards. So look out for these coming forward. And I think I got the basic idea of where I'm going here across. So I am going to go ahead and open up the panel and drop the link. To be clear, I don't want to go on for hours for nothing. So, these first few streams, I might not be as big on it, but I'm definitely going to look at limiting these open panels to hour and a half. And then if people want us to stay more, I'm going to have to see some monies coming in. So now that I've gotten over my monologue, I suppose I should throw out my monies. Hello, Josh.
Sup. I finally made it to one of your shows.
Yeah, you did. That's pretty cool.
I kept saying I was coming over here. I just never seemed to catch you online. So,
most people say they'll come and they don't, so I don't worry about it too much.
Well, me, it's just I'm on a 12-hour time difference, so it's a problem.
Vietnam's a far ways away, ain't it?
Yeah. I remembered vaguely what the discussion was, and I think it was about eugenics. And I know why it's always a contentious discussion. It's the same thing with the pro-abortion. It's because there's always what we call exceptions. So like eugenics, most people actually do advocate for eugenics. They just don't want to call it that, right? It's just basically selective breeding regardless, one way or the other. But they don't like the word. For some odd reason, they don't like the word, right? Like everybody thinks, oh, mustache man and everything. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, right? Like, it's just natural order of things. Same thing with abortion. And the original idea was I wanted to piss people off. But then I started thinking about what grounds would there be for abortion? Eugenics actually would be one. Strangely enough, when I went to go do just a little bit of digging, I was actually surprised to find that miscarriages are actually incredibly common. Like incredibly common. We're talking about 1 in 4, I think is what the statistic. somewhat is, right? And then I guess obviously each region that kind of changes, right? A little bit up or a little bit down, but that's kind of like the average.
Well,
And
I had 6 pregnancies and I have 5 children, and I've never had an abortion. So yeah,
uh,
it's not that uncommon at all. Miscarriage is a very common thing, and people don't realize that. So is death during childbirth, stillborn. We had 2 of them in the family. You know, they're not that
right.
uncommon.
Well, so what I started to think about was like, you know how like if you have two sides to something, let's just say pro and anti-abortion, right? You put them up side by side and you go through the pros and cons, or at least the best as you can, right? And that's what I was trying to figure out was, okay, if you're trying to advocate for it, if one side's advocating for like the concept of it is just so evil under any circumstance, right? Like that's probably going too far. Just about it, almost everything is going too far when you just 100% crucify everything about it. But then I wanted to drag the medical into it, right? Like the reason why abortions do technically exist, and we don't go through the Planned Parenthood concept, right? We don't go through the poverty. We just start going through the medical stuff and start looking at like why are miscarriages? How to explain it? Why are miscarriages so damn? Oh, okay. Common's probably not a good word to use, but why do they exist at the ratio that they do exist? Is it considering all of the medical marvels that we've had just in the past 20 and 30 years? I don't think we actually really focus on that.
Well, I mean, that would be a good way to go. And also, like people like me, like look into ectopic pregnancies as well as miscarriages, because those are fairly common too. I had a tubal ligation after my 4th child, and when I got pregnant with my 5th child, I had to go in for ultrasounds to make sure it wasn't what's called ectopic pregnancy. And this is where
Can you
the
spell it? Like I write it down,
yeah, I'll type it in the chat.
please. It's the first time I've heard of it, so I like I'm gonna go look.
And this is where the fetus forms outside of the womb, on the outside of it, instead of the inside.
Oh, yeah.
It's more common with people who have tubal ligation or who have something called um what's it called, endometriosis. But I mean, you don't need to get into that. There's a lot of women with that too,
Right.
especially a lot of 304s, because STDs will cause that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's caused by other factors too. It's not the only cause, but repeatedly
Yeah.
getting STDs can cause that scarring on the uterus that they call endometriosis. And women with endometriosis and with tubal ligations often have ectopic pregnancies, and if they aren't removed, neither the mother or the child will survive in every single circumstance. Not just the mother won't survive, because they'll tell you, well, the kid should survive over the mother. I've heard them say that. But this case, neither the child or the mother will survive. And why would you take away the mother of 4 other children when the child has no chance at being viable there? But it is a pregnancy. They are not called anything other than, they are still called an ectopic pregnancy, but it's still a pregnancy.
I think that concept,
life.
I think that concept goes right out the freaking window, like within discussion, right? I don't think think of it like the concept, right? Like the mom's laid out on the table, right? She's, I don't know, knocked out, unconscious, whatever. And there's like some kind of weird difficulty within birth, right? They pull the damn husband in there and they ask him to make the decision. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I can demonstrate this, but I'm pretty damn sure most husbands are going to go after to try to save the wife before the child. Because we don't get that bond with a kid until much later, right? But in that moment, right, we're all like, yes, we got to save her.
There are statistics on that, I'm sure.
There probably are on surveys, right? But I think when people have the discussions, whether it's the debate, right, and they're trying to like push in a moral ground, I think they actually skip over all of the difficulty that comes with that shit, right? Like we really say, oh, well, it's the right thing to do. I don't know. I think when dudes are right there in that moment, right? Of course, your emotions take precedence in there, right? They're gonna lead your regardless of what your moral stance. Let's just say you were completely anti-abortion, right? Most people, I'm pretty sure, or most dudes are gonna want to save the old lady.
Especially if they already have kids.
That's just an extra moral claim. I don't even go that far. I think people.
No, I don't mean
want
it
to.
morally. I'm thinking about the logistics of, if especially if they already have kids, they don't want to raise those kids they already have alone.
Mhm. Even if it was the first one, I think I'd still say the old lady. I guess because of the concept of, I'm going to call it hope, right? Let's just hypothetically say I'm really into having kids. I'm not. That's why I had the vasectomy. But let's say I'm into that, right? I'm still going to basically focus on her because, okay, so there was a problem this time, right? Maybe later on there won't be one.
We can try again if she's alive.
Yeah. Whereas in the other concept is I'm taking a risk with the kid without her, right? Like, I just think most people actually disconnect the humanity out of the situation. Of course, that's
This is
probably why we all feel
this is
one way
why
or another about
integrity
it.
is going to be one of the words that I really want to discuss, because I tell people often I don't have integrity and they don't get that. And what I mean is, I don't know what decision I'm going to make in the moment, because I've told myself a million times, oh, if I were in that position, I would do this. And then I get into that position and that is not what the fuck I did.
Yeah. Well, so now again, that goes into the debate concepts that come out there. I think most people really debate because they want to see they want to be seen within society as the good person. They quite literally like, oh, I'm a good person, which in my mind is like, if you have to say it, you're damn sure. Like, yeah, I don't believe it, right? But that is what it is. I think more reputation in a weird way of being perceived as by other people. It's like a popularity contest. That's why I don't trust it anymore.
I don't want anyone to perceive me as a good person. They can perceive me as good, bad, whatever, because I don't believe in good people or bad people. I see attractive behaviors and unattractive behaviors, and everybody has attractive behaviors and everybody has unattractive behaviors. And I want to get to know people, whether they have uh, predominantly attractive or unattractive behaviors, just to learn from them. However, I make discernment on who I let in my inner circle based on, that ratio of unattractive to attractive behaviors. So there's not a single person I have met in my life, including my late husbands, who I married and stayed with till death do us part, and my current partner, who there's not something about their behavior that I find unattractive. And so there's these ratios that
Right.
have to come into play, and people forget that in the moment we act differently than our actual morals, and we can still have that moral code to hold ourselves to, even if we slip, but we forget that and hold other people to that moral code and don't allow for them to slip. Like, how dare you say this was your morals and then you go and do that? And we pull out the word hypocrite. So see, like, hypocrite, morals, integrity, there's like 5 or 6 words that are going to just be one episode, because they all play into one another a lot. And it's this idea that we all think we are a certain way, but then in the moment we don't always act that way. It's like a human thing,
Do, do, do you honestly think that people think that way? Like when they're using these labels, like calling somebody a hypocrite, or do you think they're actually just trying to like basically draw the narrative of you're a good or bad person, like regardless of what word they use?
Well, it depends on who you're talking about. Some people are doing it because it's a flag word. It's inflammatory. It will give impact, right? And some people
Yeah.
actually mean it. However, I think it depends on the situation. Like, when I'm having a conversation with my teenage daughter and she calls me a hypocrite, it's definitely about impact. Do you know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. God, I'm glad I don't have a daughter. No, Jesus Christ. Boys are so much easier. You can keep the daughters. I feel sorry for y'all bastards. I really do. I can't do it. Women are a whole at least with a son, right? I only have to worry about one, right? One dick, right? I got a daughter, right? I got to worry about everybody's dick. No, 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 no. I don't want that kind of stress. I got enough stress as it is. Ugh.
Yeah, I have sons too. See, I have five. I have three adults and one teenager, and one's going to be a teenager in like a week, a little over a week.
Yeah, I ain't got to the teenager yet. I ain't looking forward to that. I've heard. I know I was an asshole as a teenager. I'm kind of waiting for karma to come back and bite me in the ass. Yeah, I'm remembering the words my mom once told me. Said, "You're gonna regret it. It's gonna happen to you." Oh, no, it's not, right? But I know it's gonna happen to me, right? Oh, I ain't
I
looking forward
have
to it.
I have two teenage girls as of next week.
Oh hell
Pray for
no.
me.
Oh
Pray for me.
hell
Pray
no.
for me. Everybody who believes in praying in any way that you pray, pray for me. Pray for my sanity. Pray for my
No,
strength. Because,
nope. That's gonna
dude,
be. Will you hold up, wait. You might actually have a little bit of assistance, right? You said your first three are adults.
yes.
Are they close enough that a phone call they would be willing to show up?
Hey, Ashton, thanks for coming in. And actually, my adult daughter just dropped off her two little sisters after taking them shopping with her own money, mind you. And she took them to lunch.
Do you think? See now here goes into concept, right? Because me and the old lady still having this discussion about this vasectomy thing, right? But do you think it is the case that the siblings, usually the older siblings, are highly helpful within the situation?
I think it depends, not just
Mm-hmm.
on the individual, but more
Right.
on how they're raised. So my kids, the three oldest, lost their dad 2 months after their little sister was born. And so we fell into a position of I needed their help, and they stepped up to it. Not all kids do. And so they've
Right.
been very involved in their younger siblings' lives. And then a few years later, I met this guy. We had this thing. I had had a tubal ligation, did not think I could get pregnant, didn't worry about it. We had I don't know, about 5 month fling on and off. It wasn't real serious. And then he got kind of physically aggressive with me one day, and I decided, nope, this isn't for me. And we split up. And a few months later, it turns out I was pregnant, and I couldn't have an abortion. I just couldn't do it. I'm pro-abortion. Don't get me wrong, but when I got to the office, I couldn't do it. That was my position.
Yeah, it's always the case that in that moment, like humanity, whatever's inside of us, it comes out, right? Like it is what it is.
Yeah, I
I don't
thought I
even.
could do it. I really did, because I'm like thinking I'm a widow with 4 kids. I'm not even with this guy anymore. I'm almost 40. What the fuck am I doing thinking about having another kid? I already have a little one that my husband died 2 months after she was born. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The others are almost grown. And so I scheduled it, and I was sure I was going to go through with it. And I got to the office, and I sat in my car, and I drove away.
Yeah, I hate that. Well, people. I don't know for the girls, but for the guys, right? Everybody talks about that whole like be a stoic man, right? Yeah, that it's complete bullshit. The idea that a person doesn't have passion, uh, they can't be human without it. Like it's just it doesn't exist. And the idea that they're trying to like teach that, and then worse, we actually forget about it, right? People go through some weird shit, and then we pick on everybody about getting in their fifis kind of thing.
Well,
Society's fucked.
my mom had 6 children. She had
Jesus.
she had five, and then there was a car accident that her 3 boys died in, and the state took her 2 daughters, and she never got them back. Long story. So then count forward about 5 years, and she gets uterine cancer. and they decide they're going to give her a hysterectomy, and she turns up pregnant. So she has an abortion to get a hysterectomy. And because she had an abortion, they weren't going to do her hysterectomy for 2 weeks out. And she came back and she was pregnant again. And she decided to have me and then her hysterectomy. So she carried
Damn.
me, addicted to heroin with uterine cancer. And people like that, like who are given that option of, we can't do your surgery if you're pregnant, but we need to do the surgery to save your life, they should have that option.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there. Like I said, I think there's plenty of grounds to be argued for abortion. I think people are generally being hyperbolic, right? Like it shouldn't be like a generalized concept, which I'm fine with. I just think that most people are going to make those arguments based on extreme circumstances, right? Like they're all like, well, the moral thing is it's wrong to do. In 100% situations, we never give 100% of anything. We always make exceptions. And I think we mostly ignore that shit.
Hi, Josh. Hi, Witchy.
Hello, Beth.
How's it going today?
Witchy, what I need you to do, right? If she starts trying to talk in that sexy voice, right? I just need you to basically say some words to me, like grandma, baseball, right? Anything, right?
Witchy, the voice he's
Beth,
talking about
that's
is
cruel.
I know. It's funny, though.
He's been fucking with me for like days.
I didn't know he'd react so strongly to it.
Oh, I'm actually good today. Yesterday was horrible. I don't know why. I just died.
Have you tried the ice that I suggested? It really helped my mister.
Those like 12-ounce water bottles, right? Like I stuck a couple of, because the old lady drinks like a ton of these damn things. So I got them all over the house. But yeah, I keep a couple in the freezer and I was just cycling them through.
Good idea.
Good idea. The ice really makes a big difference. And people ask me when I talk about my vasectomy idea, isn't that painful? I'm like, yes, but so is circumcision, and you all do it to your sons. And
Life
they
is
made you. It's just social pressure.
Temporary pain in the moment is often much better than the long-term pain that can come.
Well, you know how I got my mister to do it, Beth? So I had already had a post-tubal ligation baby and gotten my tubes tied again and got an ablation. And my uterine lining was growing back. So I told him, I was like, even if it's not me, because we were new, even if it's not me, say you get with somebody younger, do you really want to be stuck with somebody for 18 years of child support again? Because he had just finished paying child support on his kids from his first marriage. I was like, do you really want to be stuck in 18 years of child support again with some 27-year-old girl you picked up from a bar?
Right.
And he's like, schedule it.
Dude.
Damn, I had mine for really messed
my
up reason. There's no moral stance in there. It's just
worried about
Ling Ling.
You're breaking up.
I'm
Josh.
cutting out.
I don't know if it's just me.
Yeah, he's breaking up some.
It's me.
Go ahead, Josh. What was your reason?
I had
mine.
Well, so Bunny was like basically, I don't know. I've always called her Bunny. Everybody else calls her Ling Ling. But she started talking funny. And she'd been talking this way for like 8-9 months. And she started talking about babies, right? And the problem is
screaming.
And maybe, right? But for the last, I think 4 or 5 years, I've never asked for anything within my marriage. Never, right? Like I don't ask for like a motorbike or, stuff like that. Sure. But I have asked for one thing, right? And I want a boat. And I've been shopping around for years and years and years. And it's always been a no, right? And so I slowly started getting her worn down, right? Like when you get it, having to whip through all of the arguments. And then all of a sudden, I guess about 6-8 months ago, she just started talking about babies. And I said, you know what? I've done my time. I'm not dissatisfied. That I mean, obviously, something could happen to the kid, but I just don't think so because he's fairly well taken care of.
Mhm.
I want something for me, right? And I just realized that I'm a weak bastard. If Bunny actually wants something, I don't have the heart to tell her no.
So, I had gotten pregnant 3 times on 3 separate birth controls. All right.
Damn.
My daughter, I wasn't on nothing. That was just straight up. I was 16 and I was young and I was dumb. And my boyfriend at that time, who was significantly older than me, knew I wasn't on anything. So whatever. We had a kid. Love her to death. She saved my life. Okay. Um, so I got pregnant on orthotricycline. Didn't know till I was in the middle of a miscarriage. Then I got pregnant on seasonal. Didn't know I was in the middle of a miscarriage. That's when I found out. And then my son, my ex-husband was supposed to get a vasectomy and he chickened out at the last minute. And like literally within 3 months, I got pregnant with our son on the NuvaRing. He's a NuvaRing baby. So then I had my tubes tied. I literally threatened my doctor. They wouldn't let me get my tubes tied when he was born. They said I had to wait 6 months to let the hormones go down to make sure it was a rational decision that I actually wanted to make.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's
yeah,
a fuckery,
no.
ain't it?
Dude, it's the funniest thing. It's a hilarious story because so I was like, yes, I want to do this. We get me scheduled. I go in. Anesthesiologist comes around to see me, and I was like, no, don't put me out. I need to talk to my doctor. I was adamant. So they wheel me into the OR because he's in there. That's the only place I can talk to him at. And I climbed onto my own operating table, and he walks over and he's like, "You're not supposed to be awake." And I was like, "Hey, doc, if I ever get pregnant again, I'll fucking sue you." And he just laughed at me, and they put me out. And it's funny because a few years later, I needed to have a new MRI done of all of my hardware in my back and see where my discs were, because we know that my spine is degrading and I'm continuing to have problems. And beforehand, they did some x-rays just to make sure that my hardware was still attached to the bone like it's supposed to be. And the guy comes out and he goes, "Your bra have a clip?" And I go, "Nope, I'm wearing a sports bra." And he's like, "No, you have something in your shirt." I'm like, "No, I don't." One of my tubal ligation clips, Witchy, is up behind my liver. The other one was off and tucked down behind my colon. And my fallopian tubes were just a flopping in the breeze. And I'm like, oh no. I was scared to death. I was like, no, this ain't good. Nobody, no, bad. Thank God I never got pregnant. But the possibility was in fact there because
So,
both clips popped off.
so they told me I would never have children. I had a condition in my teens that led to dermoid cysts that led to ovarian cancer, and they took out my left
PCOS?
ovary.
PCOS?
Huh?
PCOS?
No. I can't remember the name of it. I was
Okay.
14 when they diagnosed, or 15 when they diagnosed me with it, and I've never had problems with it since. But it caused these dermoids, and I ended up with ovarian cancer because one of them sat on my ovary too long, and they took like half of my left ovary out. They told me I would never be able to get pregnant, and even if I did, my uterus was so scarred from those tumors that I would never be able to carry to term. And then I had my first child.
Mhm.
But I didn't use birth control because I didn't think I could get pregnant. So I had my first child. So then I used the Depo-Provera shot. I was getting
Oh
the
my
Depo
God.
shot regularly. I wasn't missing it because I was like, fuck this shit. I can't do this again right now. And I got pregnant with my second child on the Depo-Provera shot. My third child, I got pregnant on the NuvaRing. My fourth child, I had cervical cancer, and so they took me off of all birth control.
Oh boy.
but they did this thing called, they did the ablation then
Yep.
on my cervix, and told me that as much as the tissue they took off my cervix and the scarring, I wasn't going to get pregnant anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So then I used Tears of Phoenix from Rick Simpson oil, and I got rid of my cervical cancer, and I got pregnant with my fourth child. After my fourth child, I got the tubal ligation and the ablation of my uterus, right? And I was insistent. I've grown back a fingertip that I chopped off. I've, grown back enough. My ovaries healed themselves to be able to have a baby, and so did my uterus. So I was insistent that they be cut, burned, and clamped, right? So they did all that, and then I had my fifth child, and they still argued me about having a hysterectomy. It took my uterus falling out one night in the bath before they gave me a hysterectomy.
Yeah, they fought me on the hysterectomy too, and I was just like, listen, because my lumbar from my tailbone up to L4 is all just full of titaniums, plates, screws, a full cage, the whole nine. And I'm like, you have no idea the swelling from lady stuff every month, and the swelling and irritation from having a shit ton of titanium in my spine in the same fucking region is not conducive to a good life. My quality of life sucks. So
You know how easy it was to get him a vasectomy, though?
Yeah, I walked in and said, hi, where do I sign?
One call. And when we got there, everybody was telling him what a good guy and a smart guy he was at our age to be having a vasectomy. But they fought me. The first time I asked for my tubes tied, before my fourth child, I asked for my tubes tied. And they sat with my husband in the exam room with me. We were agreeing on this. Said to me, oh, you're still young. What if you get remarried and he wants children? You will regret this. How about you think it, just like they told you, how about you think about this for another 6 months? And by then I was pregnant.
Well, I think there's actually grounds for this, right? So like this concept of the vasectomy. Now, I don't know what the reversal is like, right? This, in terms of pain, see, I would call it a lot of discomfort, right? That's really as bad as maybe I have a high threshold for pain, right? But at the end of the day, this wasn't all that bad. You think about it. Well, think about it in the reverse. What does a woman have to do to not get pregnant, right? Whether it's going to be as a teenager or as, even getting up in their 40s, right? How much money is birth control? How much, like all of those chemicals being put in their bodies, like that's going to have some kind of effect on women, right? Like stuff just going to get helter-skelter real fast, right? It just seems more reasonable and easier to deal with to have him snipped.
Which, I have a question. When they did your hysterectomy, did they do the bikini cut or go transvaginally?
So my first child was, when they took out my ovectomy, that was the bikini cut. And then my first child was a emergency cesarean. We both died.
So you already had that there.
So I got the bikini cut again. But when they did my hysterectomy, they did it laparoscopically. So I just had a scar inside my belly button.
Fuck you. No, you don't understand. So they did now, fair enough. They were also putting a sling on my bladder to attack it up to other muscle groups because of my neuropathy issues. They went in through my vagina and cut up the roof and went in that way and just like went around my cervix with the knife and just pulled everything right out through my hoo-ha.
Well, I mean, they took my cervix too, but yeah, and there's a scar inside my vagina from it, but no, they put a camera in my
down, around, and yank, and oh my.
Well, I think the issue was that my uterus was prolapsed, so it made it different. I don't know if you know what that means. That means my uterus had already fallen out of my hoo-ha.
I had scar tissue build up from the surgeries so when they did my lumbar surgery, they did the bikini cut damn near hip to hip. And that was a funny one too, because they thought that I had fallen asleep waiting for
Poor
the
Josh.
anesthesiologist. We had to be at the hospital at like 4:00 or 3:30 in the morning. And because the hospital was a 2-hour drive, we had to leave really early, right? And so like we get there, I get checked in, take me back to pre-op, and I fell asleep and I woke up as they were wheeling me into the OR. They thought the anesthesiologist had already seen me. And I'm climbing on the table. I'm starting to have a panic attack now because I see all the shit laid out. And they're like just ripping everything off me and like, oh, you're not supposed to be awake. And I hear them calling for the anesthesia stat over the speakers and shit. And the doctor who was doing the exposing surgery comes up, and by exposing, I mean like they took all my guts out and went in through the bikini cut, took all my guts out like a C-section and put them in a bowl next to me and fixed my spine from the front. And he had me laid out on the table and he goes, "Hey, I thought you had 2 kids." And I go, "I do." And he goes, "The last thing I heard was, well, this is going to be an interesting story." And I was out. That's the last thing I heard. I woke up.
I don't mean to cut you off, but money on the table. I have to give a big shout out. Thank you. I won't mention her name in case she doesn't want that, but thank you so much for supporting the show today. You know I love you, woman. If there's a video you want, I don't have any clips yet. I'm working on that. But if there's a video you want me to play or anything, just let me know. And thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Clips are hard, man. Gathering up clips for donors is very difficult because you don't want a copyright ding on you. Even if it's not a strike, you can get a ding that makes it so your video won't appear in certain regions, or you have to cut it out or whatever.
I have help. I have help. Den is definitely helping me a lot. And so one of the things is we built my intro, and that took our entire session this week because I didn't do AI, and I built it from videos I actually took. Those are actually my videos, and it's all real life. And so it took some time to get it how I wanted it. And so I didn't have time to go looking for clips to help making them the way that I want. But over the next week, by next week, I will definitely have clips on this show. Probably, I'm hoping to have them by the Friday show. And of course, when I'm at Beth on Thursdays, she has all the clips nice and ready for me. So that will be a bonus.
I need to add some more. I need a clip for Josh. I need like the federal agent that's busting out of his coffin and going, "I'm not dead yet." Like from Monty Python. Seriously, that's what I want. I wanted to give a nod to Monty Python. Josh fucking busting out of a coffin, going, "I'm not dead yet."
Y'all are gonna hate me.
I don't want to go on the cart.
I picked up a new project today. I decided to do a website, a fandom website for Panelverse content creators.
Oh.
It's going to probably get kind of ugly. I don't care. I was screwing around with Angry Casper today, right? I don't know why he jumped in the conversation, but he ended up jumping into it, right? So now I'm gonna put his name on the credits for the creation, just to be an asshole.
Nice. Casper's
Speaking of which, you guys gonna do I'm pretty sure that you two can actually get away with doing continue doing debates with ABG. I actually don't. I think you guys can still pull
with her last night.
Y'all are going to still continue to do debates?
I hope so. I had a really good interaction with her over at Grids. Okay. I mean, like, she absolutely spoke against what her friend Cypher did at my channel. So that is a huge plus. She also reiterated that she disagrees with DSD striking me. Um, she also acknowledged that, yeah, she wrongfully started the rumor that I was a traitor. And we went, we touched it briefly because I'm not mad at her for that. Love her to
There's a
death.
there was a it's a water under the bridge. I wasn't familiar with that one.
She came at me on Dusty's panel, like out of nowhere. Do you remember that, Witchy?
I don't. I mean, to be fair, I don't. Here's the thing: AVG is an interesting person, but she's not here right now, so I don't have a lot to say about any of that.
Fair. I would like to see more debates between the two of you because you're both very reasonable women. And when you do a good debate, it's a good mashup. It's a really good mashup. I like it.
Yeah. Y'all don't holler and scream at each other, right? So people can understand the wording, people can understand the phrasing, people can kind of generally follow along. Plus, you guys actually do like this, like an explanation, right? Where it's not over our heads kind of concept. It's kind of helpful. It's not the trash of people just screaming at each other and calling each other B a kind of crap, right? It's actually I call it useful.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I might be interested in debating again, but I'm not overly I'm not looking to debate anyone. The whole thing of the debating thing for me was because I thought it would be fun to debate with AVG, but
we enjoyed it.
I don't think that her people would be okay with her debating me now. I think that there would be a platforming issue because that was, the whole thing with Beth platforming me. But
I don't
more importantly, I don't even know that that's a direction I want to go in right now. Right now, I'm trying to build the channel on things that are outside of all of that, and communications. Well, except for Fridays. Fridays are going to be my drama days, and those will be fun.
Right. Well, that's what I want to do. I'm going to put together a literal shit show one day a week where if y'all want to scream at each other, you can scream at each other. The rest of the fucking time, you're going to keep it to a minimum or I'm going to fucking drop your asses because I can't get to the content that I want to fucking cover.
So how about you want a shit show, you said was your word. I'll do Friday fuckery and you can do Saturday shit show. Give them the weekend, and then during the week we can talk about concepts and ideas. Like, I really do think this idea going forward of like just bringing every Sunday a new really overly misused phrase or word and presenting it as a discussion topic and getting the etymology and getting all of the facts beforehand is going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to that.
Is your goal to destigmatize certain words? Like, is that the goal?
I don't know if we can destigmatize words, but more to recognize when they are in myself and hopefully for those who I care to communicate with so that we can have just better communication in general. And also it could be something that other people who aren't even part of our community could catch on the internet and maybe help someone else work on better building their communication skills. Because I find that we talk about things a lot and we think that's enough to build our communication skills. We don't actually talk about communication once we get out of like high school. Most people, maybe they did comp 1 and 2 in college and then that's it about their discussions about language and usage. And so it becomes
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like looking forward to the idea of something like but I kind of really like the idea of like you doing something like a rebranding, saying, I'm pro eugenics and like 2/3 of you fuckers should die, right? Like, I don't know why, but I like the clickbait kind of like fuckery stuff, right? I don't know why. It's just to me, it's entertaining as crap.
Everybody does, and that's why I want a Friday fuckery stream where you want to come at me about my position on eugenics. You want to come at me about my position on abortion. You want to come at me. And like, maybe if we did it like Friday fuckery here and Saturday shit show at Beth's, we can get that where those people who want to come at us, at each other, they want to tell her off for platforming me, whatever. And then we get that out too, because we enjoy it, obviously. I mean, well, I'm not going to speak for Beth, but our actions show that we enjoy getting involved in the drama too. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not against that. What I wanted was something else in addition to, not in place of. And that's why I said I would love to do more debates. I haven't been challenged to any, and I don't have access really to them much to challenge them. The only place I really do have access is, I mean, I guess I can go into ABGs and talk, but when I go to hers or Emmett's, I mean, I'm instantly just attacked, and I don't think that that would sit well for them building their audiences the way they are if they platform me. Even though they want them to go at me, I think they want them to do it like at Beth's or somewhere else, because they keep chasing me out, trying, or at least trying to chase me out of there. They haven't yet. So I'm not
The
sure if they would be
yeah
willing if I issued
the
another challenge. More than that, um, the I don't
the
know what they would want to debate me on other than the things we've already debated, and I don't know if that's interesting enough.
Well, I'm
yeah the
also looking to take on at least a couple debates. So I may ask you to moderate for me at my channel.
I would love that. Now that would be something I would definitely be interested in the future, is moderating more debates. I really enjoyed being a judge at grids.
Nice.
It felt like something I really enjoyed, and if he were to ask me back to that, I might be willing. I know Grid probably doesn't have the most respect for me because I don't give him the same deference that everybody does, but I would still happily judge, debate
Grid's
again,
not
and
that sensitive.
absolutely.
Grid's not that sensitive. Like when he's given me criticisms on my debates, like 10th man got totally triggered. He did not like the way that I was being spoken to at all. And I'm like, dude, look,
yeah
my dad taught me how to play chess. He did not let me win. Okay. He would show me what I did wrong, but he'd still take my
After he
queen
beat you.
after he
After
took
he
my
beat you.
queen. Okay.
After he beat you.
Right. He would rewind it and be like, here's where you fucked up. Do better next time. You know?
Yeah, no, my dad was
so
like that too, my papa.
so Grid is that way. He's not that sensitive. I mean, look, last night his own people gave him shit for platforming me last night. And by the way, thank you to the fucking Panelverse for coming to Grids. 80% of his audience were people who watched me on my channel. And that was awesome.
Yeah, I'm still working on the networking. As soon as somebody announces something, it usually passes through. Beth, speaking of which, your Discord, you don't actually have to paste your streams into your Discord, right? It publicly announces. I got to show you guys how to like push them off into other Discords. It's not complicated. I just got to show you how to do it.
Yeah. Well, I have a bunch of Discords that aren't linked up in the affiliate network that you have set up.
Yeah. So I really have to show you that, but it works. Like it's effective. And to be fair, right, those titles, the more clickbaity, the more you'll just work at it, right? You'll learn it, like marketing. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I want you to know I'm a little upset that you're not you never consider me for moderation, right? Because I want to pull up and pull my sex. Well, no, I want to pull up and do my sexism thing, right? Like just whatever women are on panel, I want to mute them, right? Because women ought not be heard, right?
And then you wonder why I don't ask you to moderate.
Yeah, don't bring me up for moderation. I'd be horrible about it.
Dude, especially if it's two women debating. Oh my God, there will be no debate. It'll just be Josh ranting about how women ought to be seen and not heard. And he'll be complaining. Why are you not in a pretty dress? Where's your makeup? Why isn't your hair done? You need to be nicer on the eyes, ma'am.
I actually do better cheerleading from the chat. So I'll put my little
just have to
pom-poms
remind you that I'm an old hag. So let me in.
I do suspect, however, that if this show continues Sundays the way I'd like it to, you will see debates, informal ones, in the panel, because when I start actually bringing up the phrases and stuff, I have a feeling there are people who are not going to agree with my take at the beginning about it and want to argue it. So that it is a bit of a debate in itself. But as far as like formal debates, I would love to moderate some. I'm happy to participate in some if somebody's
All
interested
right.
in debating me. I just don't think the people who typically do those debate shows want me. My impression is they get mad when anybody platforms me. So I don't know if
Who
they want
cares?
me to debate them. That's the
Who
weirdest thing
cares?
is this
I,
platforming idea. I could platform myself.
nobody,
Beth doesn't have to platform me.
Well, there's
nobody tells me who I can and cannot platform, who I can and cannot have on my show. And if we go back to like my earlier shows, I had those informal debates like that all the time. Literally all the fucking time. I gotta turn my ringers down. I had them turned up because I was asleep. Oh, I got a story for you in a second. Um, as a matter of fact, I've got 3 that are posted on my channel where they were all AVG against people in my chat, including one against Dusty about all drugs ought to be legal. And like we used to have little mini debates going all the time, and it was so much fun, and everybody would laugh and have a great time. This screaming and losing their minds needs to just. So last night, here's a fun story for you. My son's, all right, there's a girl my son was with for quite a while, and her family is a mess. Okay, absolute mess. Dad got in some trouble. Mom was living in a different state. Mom is okay. Well, mom came and took her down to Delaware and then decided she wasn't going to bring her back to New York and came up with every excuse in the book. And ultimately it came down to, like, she said she didn't have a valid driver's license in New York. And so we talked her into getting her daughter to the New York border. And my son would go down into Pennsylvania, pick her up, and bring her back. Yo, this woman must have been on something or it had a hole in her gas tank or something. They stopped for gas every 20 minutes. And my son did not get home with her till like 7 o'clock this morning. And it's just like the parenting blows my mind, Witchy, because like I think you and I as mothers would never have any of our children. I wouldn't have your children in a position like that. It's
I don't
insane.
know. I I have a hard time understanding anyone else's parenting, like, because I've raised my kids each as an individual. They are not any
Yeah,
of them raised the same. They all have different needs, different
sure.
attributes, and
I agree.
um, so I have a hard time. I mean, I don't know the circumstances. Maybe she has a urinary tract infection and had to stop every 20 minutes to pee. Like, I
It's
don't. It's
Georgia.
hard telling, not knowing. The only thing I could say is
Yeah,
that your son was keeping in touch with you, and you knew where he was. There wasn't any worries on your end, so at
yeah.
least they got back safely.
Thank God. He ended up sending her a bit of money to help with the gas tank. But mom has drug issues and BPD. And it just like there was a point in time where like she asked me to make sure her daughter got to school for 1 week straight so she wouldn't get expelled. And I'm like, you can't get your kid to go to school. If- I
Well,
got it. I got it. And we were there every day for a week. My son was like, nope, come on, get up, get out of bed. You're going to school. Let's go. And, I don't know.
this is why I believe in eugenics, to get away from like personal stories and emotional stuff. This is why I believe in eugenics. And it's not necessarily that it's going to even get rid of all of the variations in genes. Like, some people would choose to keep a child with Down syndrome still. I wouldn't force them to get rid of their child with Down syndrome. We should talk about them having a clear understanding and an option. And that's the thing. It's not about whether the child is a good or bad baby, like this is a bad egg and this is a good egg. No, it's about the wanted. Unwanted people create issues for the rest of society. They always have, they always will. People who are brought up knowing and treated and accepting how unwanted they are by their own parents are not productive in society, whether they are broken mentally, physically, emotionally, whichever one you want to count. They definitely do not have the confidence to bring anything to the table.
Same.
Unwanted children are not having their best lives. They're suffering
Oh,
their whole childhood.
I have a sister. When she was younger, like a newborn, and the first few months of her life, she almost died of SIDS like 5 or 6 times. She had to sleep with a monitor on because she kept stopping breathing in her sleep. Okay. And that was what made my mother stop taking us to church. And my dad continued, but my mom refused to go because my sister, once she reached a certain age, I mean, like she was one of those kids who just was completely out of control. You couldn't take her anywhere. She would destroy everything. And I mean, holy shit. And someone in the church had made a comment like, I think God intended, or not like God intended for it, but like there was a reason why she had the problems that she had when she was a baby. And now as an adult, she has 3 kids of her own. She's lost custody of all of them. She's an addict. She's absolutely just a drain on society. And like I have said from the get-go, like I prayed that she would never reproduce because I don't like to see children suffer. And
And
I love my niece and my nephews. They're great kids. Thank God their fathers have them. Thank God their dads have them.
I mean, just that's the thing, is that like some people are not in a position to be
To be fair.
raising other people into our society, and there has to be determinations about that in my mind. But that's the other thing, is that like a lot of these terms that we'll use bring up like these horrible feelings, these connotations that people have attached to them, that like abortion, eugenics, um, freedom, free will. Like they're not all negative connotations. People, when you bring up free will, there is something inside of people that like a switch turns where it's this important right that they have, when I mean, you don't even think your own thoughts first.
Right.
Your thoughts are produced in your brain before they come to your consciousness. That, I mean, they've shown studies repeatedly that this is true, that the thoughts are formed in your brain before your consciousness is aware of them. Like, what is free will? And free will comes down to choice, right? Well, that depends on what choices you're given. It,
Right.
they're not everybody gets the exact same set of choices in life. Choices are limited too. You don't have unlimited choice. If I had unlimited choice, I guarantee you there would be a different situation that I'd be in right now. My choices are limited, and though I may have made some wrong ones or right ones, they once they're made, they're done.
Yep.
So this idea that free will is like the end all be all of what like makes America great, or what is important about individualism, I don't buy into it. It's just a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of self-centered, egotistical bullshit. But it's a good idea to like discuss that, because like my connotation when I hear free will is lies, like instantly, whereas someone else's is my freedoms, which hits them right in the chest. And I find that interesting, just that variation in how those two words put together can bring about a whole different state of mind for different people. Same two words, completely different frame of mind.
Yeah. Denny is one of the first people who I've read her actually intelligently go into why we don't have freedom of will. And I really want to have that conversation with him further because I want to hear and understand more of that line of thinking.
Yeah, Denny's doing a movie marathon today. I don't know that he'll ever be
cool.
part of these Sunday streams or not. He's not he thinks it's not the best idea I've come up with for a show, but it's one I really want to do. So it's what I'm gonna do. And then,
I,
like I
I
said,
pulled
I
up.
have multiple ideas, and that's why they're going to be separated out on days. That way, hopefully, I can get some structure into my channel.
I pulled up and he disappeared. I think I had more to do with it than anything. If I wasn't here, I think he'd still be here.
He was worried you're going to gain yourself another ex-wife, another new internet wife.
No, me and Den clash quite often.
Just picking on you, jackass. You like to clash with anybody that you can. You'll stir the pot no matter where you're at. And
I'm damn sure known for but yeah, that is my thing. The free will thing. Did he go into determinism? Was that his? Because I haven't heard the conversation. Was that his thing?
I don't remember. I need to talk to him more about it. I think we were getting distracted with it because we were watching Dusty and the Priest debate, and we were covering that. And we went back more to the clockwork fallacy, something like that.
Yeah. This is going into determinism. Philosophically, it's a fucking nightmare to contend with.
I'm not very good on my philosophical stuff, obviously. Like all the debaters, I'll tell you right now, I'm bad with my fallacies. I'm bad with a lot of the philosophy stuff.
Yeah, forget the fallacy. Like that's some bull. Look, I'll send you a website URL, right? Just it's stanford.edu, plato.stanford.edu. It basically has all of the all of the different philosophies, and they kind of like go through the summarization, right? But to be fair,
I've read some Plato.
No, well, it's not all by Plato, right? That's just the name shit that they put into it. But just read it one paragraph a day. Don't take in too much of it. It'll really mind fuck you. Philosophy is this thing that if you go too far into it, you come out the other end just very different.
Yeah. You forget, I'm right next to Cornell, okay? They actually they hand out philosophy degrees there as well, in addition to like different sciences and law school and that shit. And I'll tell you right now, we have such a problem with students because we have a lot of these huge gorges. They're gorgeous, okay? But we have a big problem with Cornell students jumping off the bridges. They had to put nets in under all the bridges up in College Town where Cornell is because we made national news for students jumping.
Like for self-deletion or for swimming?
For self-deletion.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, to be fair, right? Well, okay, first of all, nobody should be getting a philosophy degree, right? Like, here,
right?
Just ask somebody like one job you're going to do with this damn degree, right? Now, the intro.
I was doing a turnover, and it was an Asian kid who didn't want to leave the house. And so I was talking to him, trying to reason with him. And I was like, so what degree did you get? And he's like, philosophy. And I'm like, you went to Cornell University on a scholarship and wasted it on philosophy?
Yeah.
And like, we were worried he was going to jump. He was not stable. He was not stable, dude. He was like, can I come back inside one more time to say goodbye to the house? No, you can't.
I know why Cornell. Well, Cornell offers it. They have to offer it because, shit, like I think their two main outputs are legal, so like
Yep.
law
Law
and
degree.
strangely enough, I think their second one is veterinary medicine. Strangely enough,
Lots of
right?
the vet school is very big, and
Right.
they have a huge greenhouse. The greenhouses are awesome, and their gardens are amazing. And like they grow, like you know that plant that blooms every 35 years and smells like a rotting corpse?
Oh yeah.
They have one of those. It just bloomed like 2 years ago, and everybody flocked over to see it. Like, and on top of that, they've been doing work with algae to create a sustainable, self-replicating, sustainable food source that will replicate faster than you can pretty much use it. As well as it can also be used for creating energy. So it's this. It was actually it's a government contract, but everybody knows about it. So I don't know, but it's this big algae program where like it self-sustaining power and self-sustaining food out of this one algae.
So that's another of those words that gets overused and misused a lot. Self-sustaining. Like when you talk about science, like this
See if I can find
experiment
it.
you're talking about, self-sustaining really means what it sounds like. Self-sustaining. But I kind of want to bring that in with the bring yourself up by pick yourself up by your bootstraps concept, because self-sustaining and pick yourself up by your bootstraps didn't mean what they do now, and what they mean now doesn't necessarily fit into the direct meaning of the words. And it's pretty interesting that in science they use words exact. Like
Wait,
it's very
what do you mean pull yourself up by your bootstraps doesn't mean like what it used to be? Of course it does. If you're homeless, just buy yourself a house and then you won't be homeless no more. Come on. I love the abuse of this shit, right? Like you're taking away my fun. You're really taking away my fun.
So
it'll be interesting, I promise you, when you hear the information I have on the etymology of the word, and that's why I wanted to bring in etymology today, so that people might start thinking about it, because etymology of words really changes things.
I
It
pulled up
does.
an article. This is actually really cool. So, taken from the bottom of the marine food chain, microalgae may soon become top-tier contender to combat global warming as well as energy and food insecurity, according to a study by researchers associated with Cornell Algal Biofuel Consortium, published in the Journal Oceanography, December 2016. So like, yeah, they've been working on this for a while. It would reduce fossil fuels, biofuels, really cool. And so the food part of it, this is really interesting. It's good feed for chicken, and they seem to produce more eggs with 3 times the omega-3 fatty acids, according to the research they've done.
Well, yeah,
None
algae's full of
of this.
omega-3s.
To be fair, and none of this shit new, right? They were doing this shit back 15, 20 years ago back in 4-H, right? So like the duckweed and all that shit. I was the Department of Agriculture was starting to push this stuff, right? Like they were actually even paying people. Well, okay, you'd build a greenhouse, right? And then apply for whatever thing and they'd reimburse you for it. Yeah, that was a thing. It wouldn't be so damn bad if any of that stuff was actually eventually affordable. And the problem is that the fucking Northeast sucks on agriculture. Yeah, like, I mean, yeah, you can get your own garden kind of concept, right? You get a greenhouse, right? But building greenhouses, New York ain't real. Well, I don't know about the rest of the state, but New York definitely likes their building code. And they're giving everybody hassles for having a greenhouse because they're considering it a shed.
Witchy, do you know how to pin comments in your chat?
Yeah.
You just put the StreamYard in. If you go to the 3 dots next to it,
Oh,
you
I
can pin
didn't.
it and it'll
I
stay there forever.
redropped the link just for Ashton. I
Okay.
didn't want to pin it.
Okay. I just wanted
Other
to
people
throw
can
that out
grab it too now that it's out there, but I don't want to pin it until I grift for extension,
fair.
which
I
is
just wanted to
about
throw it out there and make
10
sure you knew.
minutes, folks. In about 10 minutes, I'm going to start talking about shutting down the stream. I did get one beautiful donation so far, but if anybody wants to keep it going, I don't want to go past 2 to 3 hours without making a little money, guys. So
Can I grift for you? Because I have to go back to finish building this bunny mansion with my daughter and get it done for poor Roger. He's going to have lots and lots of room. He's going to be so happy. It's like 3 tiers tall, and I'm enclosing the top so that it's nice and dark, and he's got a good place to hide. And
oh, nice.
it's a
Why don't you
lot of work.
Why don't you pull up the sexual etymology of the word finish, right? Like Beth needs an instruction on that one. How about that, right?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Damn it.
I'm asking you to please send some money to Witchy. Right now, I'm torturing Josh just for you. Imagine how hard he's squirming in that seat, just listening to my voice. Anyways, everybody please, Witchy's doing one hell of a show here. We like to support one another. So break out your wallets. Send this lady 5, 10, 20 bucks just to say you're doing great. Keep it up and we love you. Witchy's come under a lot of attack lately. It's really important for our community to hold strong and support one another. And I want to go on record right now, right here, saying that I support Witchy as a creator and I support her right to say things. No, even if I don't agree with them, I want to hear what she has to say because it's going to make my brain work with how do I contend with this? How do I write this? How do I figure out the best way to approach this? And you know what? Everybody should do it. We are against echo chambers. Witchy, I'm with you. Don't ever worry about anybody fucking coming at you on my channel. They're welcome to fucking do it. In the meantime, everybody send Witchy at least $5 to say fuck you to our opposition who wants to silence her. That's what you need to do. I will set the precedent right now and I'll kick it off myself with a nice little cash app. But
Oh, thank you, Beth. I
in the
appreciate
meantime,
that.
I love you to death. I gotta take off and I want you to have a fabulous finish to your screen. If I can find you. There you is. And like I said, keep it up. It gets easy. You'll find your swinging things. And it'll be fun. And I'm really happy for you. I want to see you succeed. So there's a nice dono to say. Keep it up. Good job. I love you.
I'm sure I'll see you later somewhere else in the panelverse. Be safe out there.
Yeah. I'm going to finish the bunny hutch. I'm going to make some pork chops. And then I'm going to come sit my ass down and actually interact with my tribe. The tribe of nomads.
Time to powwow later. We'll see you around.
I love you, Josh. I hope your nuts feel better. A salute to Josh's nuts.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to write your doctors and I'm going to ask them to send them to me in a jar and I'm going to put them on my little shelf right here so you can see that I have your nuts. Oh, that's a great. I should just go get a couple walnuts and do that, right? Just put them in the jar. With a label. I have black walnut trees. Oh, I got a new project. I'll even put some glitter in there so they look all special, Josh. Oh, I'm going to troll the fuck out of you now. I'm so glad this
This is
thought
why the
came to
red
me.
pill is going to make a comeback. This is exactly why the red pill is going to make a comeback.
I'm so glad this thought came to me.
Oh, I love you
Babe.
guys.
We gotta have some
You know
fun.
what? Your next show, don't be surprised I show up asking about my sandwich and why you ain't in the kitchen, right? Because I got to get some revenge
And I'll
for this
take
shit.
your nuts in a jar off my shelf and I'll just shake the fuck out of them and put them back and say,
Jesus. Jesus.
That's aggressive.
Christ.
oh shit. All right. I'm going. Love ya. Bye.
Love you too. Be safe. Thank you for coming by, for everything.
Yeah, my closing thoughts are women are fucking evil. That's my closing thoughts. Jesus Christ.
Oh, really, Josh? Are they evil or are they just confused?
No, I don't know about the confusion part, right? I'm convinced women know what the hell they're doing. I'm pretty almost sure they know what they're doing, right? Because it involves our misery, right? But I can't accuse certain women of doing that because apparently my nuts are in a jar on somebody's shelf being threatened to be shaken. So
I mean,
I
you've
guess you have
called
to
her
watch
your
my people.
ex-wife since I met you, so I thought it was just like a running joke between the two of you. And
Oh, it really is a running joke.
okay.
I forgot what happened. Somehow we ended up getting I don't know, online married or some weird shit, right? But people took it serious. And so I said, you know what? Everybody likes rumors. So I just kept it going.
Yeah, there's this guy, Tonic, and I jokingly call him my online hubby. And when he sees me come into a room and I'm like, oh, hubby. And he's like, she is not my wife. I want it perfectly. It's beautiful. Yes. No. Those kind of running gags I like. So yeah, that's fun stuff.
Well, Beth was seriously screwing with me, right? Because we used to have we would do video calls, right? We'd be comparing cooking notes and stuff. Because at that time, I was actually trying. I came back stateside because my parents got sick, and so I was doing the I'm cooking for myself kind of thing, right? And I realized I suck at it. I used to be good at it, but all of a sudden now I sucked at it, right? And so she's like, "Oh, this is how you do the sirloins," and every time she'd be cooking a fucking steak, right? And I couldn't even find steak, let alone cook it, right? And she's just rubbing this shit in she's been going at me, making my life miserable ever since I met her. Thus the wife concept.
No, exactly. Exactly. That's why I call this particular person my husband, because we have so very differing points of views that we would fight like married people, like that old
Pretty
saying.
much.
There's another one that people use a lot: fight like married people.
Mm-hmm.
So many. I'm so looking forward to this.
Well, I'm looking forward to. I actually, along your concepts of your debates, what you in ABG did was it functioned really well. The problem is you just can't you can't debate the same person over and over, and I realize that, right? I've got a couple names in mind, but they're unknown. You would be unknown to them. I got to see if I can find some way to bridge them because they are over in that same group, right? But I think they're reasonable, at least from what I can see, right? Give me a couple days and see if I can pull something together and get you two talking so you can, or well, it wouldn't be.
There is somebody over there besides AVG I've already debated too. Glacier, I debated her.
Glacier's an outcast currently, right?
I didn't know that.
Glacier's always been an outcast, and I honestly don't know why. They hold her in some really weird positions that don't make a lot of sense. Or maybe it's just because she's every once in a while comes out with some oddball shit. Yeah.
I mean, they already hate women, and if you're a black woman, that's probably even worse for them.
It might be the concept, but I don't know. She always had it, but no, there's a couple other people. Give me a couple days and let me see if I can get in touch and get you two in the same room so you can actually discuss.
Are you in Den's Discord?
No.
That's the only one you'll find me in. So if you want to get in touch with me outside of streams, the only way to do that would be to join his Discord.
Are you in Dusty's Discord?
No, the absolute only Discord besides my AA that I'm in is Den's, and it's been that way for a long time, and it won't change.
I,
Nobody can say I said something
I will.
somewhere if I've never been there. That's for years.
Okay.
I've held that rule because of the shit I've seen go down. Like Beth keeps talking to me like I'm new to YouTube, and I love her for that because it's so sweet because I'm new to her. But I've been doing this for close to a decade now, and I stick to one Discord. I can get you an invite to it, I'm sure.
Nah. I won't be going around denizen too much. No. That's okay.
That's fine
I,
too. But you
I'll,
can. You know what I
I'll
can
find
do? I
something.
forgot. I think even if we're not in a Discord together, can't I just like put my Discord, give you my Discord?
You can, but I mean, without it being linked. Hold on one second. I got a better idea. Let me I'm gonna put my phone number in the back. Give me a second because I gotta get it. I've got an American phone.
That'll work. And if you could set up some debates, I'm more than happy to participate. Whether it's actually debating, moderating, anything. I enjoy that sort of stuff. Just like since I was young, I've been on debate teams in high school and college. I did mock trials. I mean, my master's degree is a law degree, so
It's the idea of getting you around, getting more of those debates like you and ABG do, right? So it's just the right type of people is really what it boils down to, figuring out where the match is, right? Those worked out so exceptionally well. It's trying to find more of that. That in my mind is where it is. Here it is in the back chat. This is my phone number.
so I'm gonna put it in my phone and then I'm gonna delete it because I've sometimes seen previous chats pop up on new streams.
You can give out my number. It's not a big deal. I don't actually care. Anybody that's crazy enough to call me, let them have at it. Right? It doesn't matter. People that want to call me and with me, right? Like, I go for it. Play with it if you want to. I don't give a damn, right? Like, but you can send me a text. It's a U.S. number too, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Well, I have some international. I don't know if it would be to you because I have a lot of people.
You do not ever want to call this place. My God, this place is it's crazy expensive for anything.
Well, I don't know if you know that about me, but I do AA. Like I'm an alcoholic, and so I sponsor because I've been sober quite a number of years. And in sponsoring, I have international sponsees through AA online because
that's
a lot of people don't have AA in their area.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't even know that was a thing internationally.
Yeah, no, I have sponsee. My oldest sponsee is in Scotland, and it was really fun learning how to talk to her because for the first few months we would do video chats, but we would still have to type everything because I couldn't understand 90% of what she said.
Oh, learning how to talk to the Scots. Yeah, yeah, I'm aware. But anyway, so, there's my number. Send me a text message so I can I'll add you as a contact. Yeah, I'll just give me a couple of days. I think I can find some people. I'm just not sure. I don't know who's a fit, but I think if I get you in the same room as them, right, you guys will have a discussion and you can find out like what you disagree on and then go debates on that one, right?
But so here's the thing. What I like about debate, I don't even have to disagree with them, Josh. If they tell me their claim, I'm happy to research and approach the opposite either way. But if you want me to debate things that I have more passion about, I mean, it's better if we disagree on something. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so the passion concept, believe it or not, it's not something that somebody can fake. So when people argue from a position that they actually don't honestly believe in, it kind of shows. right? And the arguments are usually kind of crap within that concept. But when somebody actually believes the stance that they hold, I don't know, they've got a little extra pizzazz in it, and you especially do. So it just, I don't know why it comes out better. If that means anything. You guys, well, at least with you and ABG, you guys took the time to like iron out the explanations in it, and not in a way where it was like over people's heads. So I think they're more useful, if that makes any sense.
No, I get that. It's trying to make me use some text now that I don't know how to use.
Go ahead. Well, it's a Pennsylvania phone number. I don't know if the one matters in there.
Oh, here we go. No, I fixed it. Now it's coming from my phone. Yeah, I'm kind of like you in that my address, my phone number have been out there for years. Here's the thing. And this is something I don't get about Christians, but I'm not afraid of much of anything, including my end or the end of other people, or like death is like such a big deal, and pain is such a big deal to them that they think it's some kind of threat for people to know where they are. Who the fuck wants to come around me anyway? Most of these people don't like me. Why the fuck do they want to come here? And if they're come seeking harm, they should know I have video cameras on my property, and this is an American household, if you know what I mean, an all-American household, and we celebrate the fact that there is a Second Amendment to our Constitution.
Yeah, just to be fair, like, and if somebody wants my number, right, you can give it out. It's not a big deal. Most people are, if they know who I am, right, they're not dumb enough to screw around too much. But hey, it is what it is, right? So it doesn't matter to me.
And the way I see it is, I'm the same way about my number. I think you should have gotten a text from me by now. I'm the same way about my number, because like like I said, my address has even been out there. Den is really big about online security, and I get that for him, but I am nothing like that. I show my face. He doesn't. My info's been out there. Silver Diamond's gotten my address like 8 times because she says she gets rid of it between, and she's always sending me stuff from her mystery boxes, which is cool. Look, I'm not. Yeah.
There we go.
Some people get worried about that stuff, and that's why I had mentioned I would delete it if you want, because I don't.
No. Matter of fact, if you know somebody that wants to get in touch with me, you can give them that number. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. So I have gotten a little bit of support this stream, but I am going to grift again. If there's any buddy out there who wants to throw a little bit of money as thanks, now would be the time, because I think I am gonna. You say your closing is women are evil. Nothing to add or subtract from that?
No, not after what Beth just did to me. That's the only appropriate closing argument I got.
I couldn't believe she did it. I was like, I had even told her, how cruel is that? Like, I mean, I can too, though, because, like, yeah, I could see how to some people that's funny, but I guess I never liked those funny videos, like, you know that show Jackass?
Oh, yeah.
That show, I never got into it. How watching other people get hurt never gave me, like, I didn't laugh, I would cringe instead.
Oh no, Beth and I, we've always been that way. Like, she comes at me left and right, and to be fair, like, it's well deserved. If we're being honest, right, it is well deserved.
Well, and you guys have history, so I try to leave it alone. But like that particular thing, like, I don't know, because I can imagine how much discomfort would increase if the skin is being pulled tight where there's stitches.
Well, so joking around, right? Like, a sexy voice ain't gonna set me off, right? But that's what I signed up for when I did it. Like, I knew it was going to be uncomfortable, and to be fair, like, in terms of pain, I've been through a lot worse than this, right? So it is what it is. But I ultimately did it because if we're being completely honest, I actually have a hard time telling Bunny no. I like, if she says she wants something, it might not be right this moment, but it is eventually going to be a yes. And I, my own weakness, right? My own weakness,
But
this kind of
but you
combats
also are
that.
at a
So
point where you're saying that like there are other things you want to focus your time and money and attention to, and another child is going to take away from that, right? Like you said something about a boat,
yeah,
I think specifically. So the idea is you've decided what you're willing to give up, and right now it's not this dream of having a boat.
for 9 years I've given up everything, right? Like, and I didn't mind. I never complained about it or anything like that. And this one thing that I want, and to be fair, it's kind of an unreasonable want. I mean, a 300-footer, this thing is like it's like somebody that owns a pool, right? It's just a money pit, right? Yeah, all of the chemicals, all of the water changes, like all of the, like it's a money pit. And I know it's a money pit, but I still want one. And I've never really never had an unreasonable toy. This is an unreasonable toy. And I've gotten flack for this thing for like 5 or 6 years, but I finally got her like almost worn down to a yes on there. And this is not like a small amount of chump change either. We can afford it, just probably shouldn't afford it, right? So still got to have that discussion, and I don't know how to have it, right? That's like the last thing that's in my way.
Yeah,
And
but
then
it's
I'll have a
definitely
boat.
not going to happen if she comes to you and says, "Oh, by the way, babe, that good time we had last Sunday."
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's instantly, yeah. Like that'll go right
that's the end
out the
of the boat.
door. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I get it. I
That's
mean, it
a
was financial. It was financial for my mister mostly when I convinced her to do it. Was the idea of he had just literally finished paying off. You know, he just had this last kid age out of child support, and we were still new. I mean, we didn't know that this was going to be what it's been yet. You know, it's like
well,
what if you got some girl pregnant and then 18 years of more child support, and that was like, nope, that's the best reason I've heard ever.
I'm more concerned as to why guys avoid it, right? Like, why is it the majority of people push that off onto women, right? Like, you heard Beth's story about the concept of, like she couldn't get her tubes tied immediately after childbirth, right? Like they
I
make
have the
you work.
same
Wait,
story. I have the
yeah,
same
it's like
story for getting tubes tied, for asking for a hysterectomy, even due to health. Like they don't want to let women do those things, but it's pushed onto us to be the one who takes the responsibility for doing it at the same time. So it's a real interesting
it comes.
contradiction built into that.
Well, yeah, so it's so much more than that. Like you got the birth control, and all that. All of this is, I would consider the like the problems that come with it. It's just easier for dudes to do it.
Well, and like she said too, she got pregnant on birth control, and so did I. I got even the depot shot. So like, there's that consideration of how less effective a lot of women I know have gotten pregnant and had miscarriages on birth control because of the way it messes with your hormones. It doesn't necessarily prevent the pregnancy, but it does prevent you from being able to carry it most of the time due to the change in your hormones that's being created by the medicine. So there's just so much around all of it that like
I wouldn't even want to risk the whole what's that, like the well, you said before, depot. I remember this back in high school, and every girl that I'd ever seen that was on it blew up like a balloon, right? Like I don't know why, right? But whatever it is it's in the chemical, like they just, I don't know, their
makes you get fat.
metabolism change or something, right? And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, my old lady's got a nice body. I mean, she's a good looking girl, right? I kind of don't want that to change. I like my toys, right? And it seems like the idea of like, oh, well, I'm going to put you on birth control. That doesn't, some odd reason, it just sounds irrational. Like it goes against the thing that you want, right? And to be fair, I'm being a little bit greedy, right? I don't want anything about her to change if I can absolutely help it. So this is
And
one,
this
it's
won't change
cheaper.
anything about you. Your
Yeah.
function will be the same. It's not going to change the way
Nope.
you look. It's not going to alter your hormones because you're going to still continue to produce the same
Yeah.
gametes you were producing before. They're just not, they're just going to get reabsorbed as opposed to, so you're going to keep a little bit more of your protein. I mean, literally, that's,
Yeah. Yeah, so far everything works. It shouldn't right this moment. And yeah, so the day I came home from this, right, she immediately, obviously she disagreed with this thing, right? So she punished me. Yeah, I walked around with an erection and got a blowjob, right? Most a horrible thing I ever did. Like, this woman's evil, right? And that was my punishment. Which, I mean, to be fair, right? Like, this is what it is. But
I could see though where she had a concern that it wasn't
this
going to
would be
work, and to
easier
her,
than any
that's an
other
important
option.
part of
So
you,
I
right?
don't know. Just I don't know how I feel about it, right? Like, because from my understanding, I got about 5 years to reverse it if I want to, or something like that, right? Yeah, maybe I might change my mind, and I don't know if that's any more difficult than this is. I mean, hell, I don't know, right? So, but, I don't know, but it seems like this option was the most rational, logical one with the least amount of bullshit to contend with.
And
If
the
that
one you
makes
had
any
the
sense.
most control over. Like, men complain that women have all control over reproduction. This puts you in control. This was, you had control over the reproduction.
Now, see, here's the problem with that, right? I don't really particularly at home. I don't actually care about control, right? Like, I'm not like that kind of weirdo.
I'm not just saying
But
you. I'm just saying in general, men are all afraid of it. But in general, it gives them back some control over reproduction, to be the one who chooses to stop it and not be
well,
reliant on her to take birth control or whatever.
yeah, I don't know. Everything about this seemed like it was a better decision than any of the other alternatives, and I just basically chalk it up that way, right?
Well, I hope
The
she
only
has forgiven you.
no, and she's not going to anytime soon, right? Like, I got some ass kissing to do out of this, right? Like, yeah, well, this is married life. It is what it is, right? I don't. I know what I signed up for, and I know what my duty is, and I do it to the best of my ability, and hope I don't screw up as much as everybody else. It's that
That's
simple.
what we could do.
Pretty much. But anyways, if you're going to end the show, fuck y'all very much. And if you run into Beth, you ask her about what's in the jar. That's what you do. Ask her what's in the jar.
Okay, well, we'll see you around, and yeah, keep in touch about the debate ideas, and we'll get something going.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. So, just a little recap here. I do intend to do Sunday streams, kind of like today. Hopefully, we'll have more to talk about with the words and phrases that I'm going to bring up in the open panel. Of course, there will still be chit chat and maybe even some drama, because there are enough people who hate me, mind you. Once this gets going, they might not like that. But this will be the Sunday streams. I'm looking to do Mondays a little different. I have Thursdays at Beth's, and that's going to stay random topic open panel. Mostly I will bring a prompt for those, but it won't be strictly adhered to. And then Fridays I want to do uh, a Friday either fuckery or fuck fest. Since we do the Sunday nooner, I think I'm probably going to make it a fuck fest instead of fuckery, but we'll see what YouTube will let me get away with, how many asterisks I have to use. And that will be, anything goes. As long as you don't break TOS and shut the stream down so we can't continue, we'll just whatever. Y'all can bring it at me. Bring it at each other. Saturday, Beth wants to do something similar, and then we're back again to Sunday for just some word wizardry, my magic, spells. This is, again, another reason very important to me. Words is spells. They call it spelling for a reason. Your words are what you cast upon the world. And if you're not sure of what you're saying, you're not sure of what you're hearing, the spell may not be as successful either way. So just remember, spelling, casting, words matter. We'll see you guys next week. Well, for this anyway. See you guys later.
I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice. My mother's child is a savage. She looks for her omens in the colors of stones, in the faces of cats, in the fall of feathers, in the dancing of fire, and the curve of old bones. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice. My mother's child dances in darkness and sings heathen songs by the light of the moon, and watches the stars and renames the planets, and dreams she can reach them in song and a broom. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice. My mother's child curses too loud and too often. My mother's child laughs too hard and too long, and howls at the moon, and sleeps in ditches, and clumsily raises her voice in this song. I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter. I will not cut my hair. I will not lower my voice. Now we all are brought forth out of darkness and water, brought into this world through blood and through pain, and deep in our bones the old songs are waking, so sing them with voices of thunder and rain. We are our mother's savage daughters, the ones who run barefoot, cursing.
I am wrong about
stones.
everything you want me to be wrong about, so long as it means I can have discussions that you don't come and try and derail with an agenda. Thank you.